All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Flights OKC. This is Season 2, Episode 2, and today is McKenna 10 versus Evan Williams 1783. It is the Budget Bourbon Showdown. Now, you've all seen giant bottles of bourbon at the liquor store. Yeah. We've all seen it. But these two are like must-buys, in my opinion.
I agree.
If you're looking for a bottle to keep around the house that you have a lot of, right, because they're 175s, these are two awesome picks.
And you know, and again, everybody starts at the bottom. Even Buffalo Trace and everybody else started as a low-end bourbon. And in Buffalo Trace, honestly, I
think these are better.
Than Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, and you can buy a 175 for probably the price that you're paying.
$10 less than, or $5 to $10 less than what you're paying for Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've already had the McKenna on here, and we've had the Evan Williams, but for being our favorite like budget bourbons, we had to put them head to head to see which one was better. I think I have an idea of which one I like more.
Yeah, I do too. I think I do too.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that at the end, I'm sure. Right. But let's dive into it. As we always do, we'll just kind of do a high-level overview of each of them, and then we'll get into it. So we'll start with the McKenna because it's lower proof. This is only 80 proof. It's a straight bourbon from
Heaven Hill.
Yeah, of course. Our good friends at Heaven Hill.
They never disappoint.
Never disappoint. The proof is 80. The age is NAS. And this is what we talked about. And we've made a mistake. We should call ourselves out on it in the first season. So this says aged at least 4 years per TTB regulations. And we would always say in the first season that had to be 4 years. No, bourbon actually has to only be aged 2 years. However, most are 4. And I don't know if it says it on this bottle, but on the other bottle we had, it says it was aged at least 30 months. It doesn't. It doesn't say it here.
Yeah, it was the small bottle that had that on.
It doesn't have that on here.
But I'm just curious. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
What?
Just looking at the color.
Oh, the color? Yeah.
Yeah, you get a little more caramel.
So again, the age is NAS. This says at least 4 years. However, on the small bottle, if you get it, it says aged at age 30 months. Excuse me. The mash bill is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. And the MSRP is $15, and that is for the normal bottle. How much was that? $21.
A real bank breaker.
Great stuff. The Evan Williams 1783. Who is it from?
I don't know.
Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill.
Of course. The proof is 90. The age is NAS. The company states 6 to 8 years on this. The mash bill is literally the same mash bill as that. It is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. And MSRP is $20 for the regular bottle. I paid $31 for the big bottle of 1783.
This would be a great question for Justin W.
Mm-hmm.
Same mash bill, both, your entry-level bourbon price. And why so much different? I mean,
well, they're aged differently.
How much longer is this one?
Well, so this one's only 30 months. This one is NAS, but according to Breaking Bourbon, it says 6 to 8 years.
Oh, okay, that would explain why.
So it just sits in the barrel longer, it's going to be darker, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's the
McKenna's lighter than the...
the Evan Williams is definitely darker.
Yep.
Not a tremendous amount, but enough where this is more of a caramel-like color, and this is more like gasoline.
Yeah.
Not that it tastes like it.
Do you want to pour that one up as well, just since we're...
might as well.
Might as well. But yeah, so I mean, we've had the McKenna 10, which is allocated, and everybody loves it. But when we found the McKenna, which is like, honestly, a really ugly bottle.
Yeah.
It's brown. It's not attractive, but...
You rebrand that, you could probably charge $15, $20 more.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. All right. Shall we get into it?
Yes.
All right. So we're doing this is the McKenna.
The Henry McKenna.
Yes. Straight bourbon. Doesn't smell like a lot.
No, it's not. No. Ethanol, not hot.
And I mean, for how cheap it is, it's not going to be complicated. It's not going to be like overly complicated, right? So
yeah. Light oaky. It's sweet.
Sweet, little rice spice on the end.
Easy to drink.
Easy to drink.
It is easy to drink.
Yeah. And this is, again, we talked about it in episode 1. We saw this kid down at Bacchus, and he was looking around, and you could tell that he was looking at stuff and he goes, I don't really want to spend that much money. I could just see him, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. And I mean, a lot of people can't afford a $50, $55 bottle of bourbon, and that's totally fine.
Or an overpriced bottle of Blanton's for
or Buffalo Trace. Yeah, God, let's not start this discussion again. But we're like, hey, if you want something inexpensive, try the McKenna. And he goes, really? And he like picks it up and looks at it. And I'm like, I know it doesn't look exciting, but for whatever it was, $12.
Yeah, I
mean, it's a good bourbon for sure. I like how easy it is to drink. Obviously, I think the biggest thing is the price point.
Yeah, but if you're watching the show, like we talked about, let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's good. So
it's so smooth.
From Breaking Bourbon, here's the review on the Henry McKenna Straight Bourbon, and I think this really is spot on. Before you pick up any dominating scents, you'll notice the aroma's overall lightness. It's gentle, with caramel being the first thing you pick up on. Class and bourbon scents to follow with vanilla and oak. A touch of brown sugar, and a burnt orange rind. But really, that's it. I mean, I don't get the orange rind.
I don't get the burnt orange rind. I get a little bit of orange zest. But
yeah, I get orange zest, but it's not burnt.
There's nothing bitter about it.
No. Not a lot of caramel. I get more oak and vanilla.
It's like a real light caramel, like it's mixed with something else. I'm going to save a little for the ice.
It is good, though.
It is good. It's an easy drink, and shockingly, honestly, I think if McKenna changed the labeling in the bottle, it'd sell more.
I'm gonna say this next part. A thin mouth. So this is the palate.
It is very thin.
A thin mouthfeel carries a soft pecan note.
I don't get the pecan.
I know you don't, because you'd hate it.
I would hate it.
Equally gentle amounts of oak and caramel. An absence of spice. The palate leans sweet, but never overly so. And then the finish, the gentlest incline of cinnamon occurs, creating a moment of interest. However, it's fleeting and the bourbon settles on the base on a charred oak and mild leather.
Yeah, it's not real like oily like some of them are that just stick on your tongue. It's there, it's good, and it's gone.
It's not going to be super exciting. Yeah. It's not going to be complex. It's not going to be heavily spiced. It's an inexpensive
good
bourbon.
Yeah.
It's just good.
It is good.
It is good.
It's definitely an easy drink.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Shall we move on to the Evan Williams here? So Evan Williams, 1783. Again, these are both Heaven Hill products, which is interesting.
Right. I didn't know.
I didn't realize Evan Williams.
I didn't either.
I knew obviously McKenna was,
right.
But same thing.
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Smell
going on
a little
on the
sweet.
nose. Little sweet, little vanilla.
Yeah. So much more flavor packed into there.
Yeah, it's a lot more flavorful. You get that nice rice spice at the end. Little tiny heart hug for me, just a little bit.
Yeah, not much.
Not much. So the nose, they're talking about the heavy classic bourbon scents, charred oak, caramel, and vanilla, of course. And then you get, it says, inhaling deeper brings forth notes of light marshmallow and leather. However, these take a backseat to the main scents.
There goes
and the dogs are barking.
I think
wonder
they
if
disagree.
the wife is home.
I think the dogs might disagree with this.
Yeah, I don't think they like this one very much.
It's sweet, like the red fruits we always talk about that we've never had. We'd still like to try. If you have red fruits, please send them to us. We'd like to try.
I don't know what red fruits are, but
no, but it's smooth. It's a little bit spicier. But still really smooth, but not quite.
It's definitely more complicated than the McKenna, for sure.
Yeah, the McKenna is a smoother drink, but less flavor.
So on the palate, they're saying, and this again from Breaking Bourbon, I should have mentioned that. Sweet vanilla, oak, toasted brown sugar, light caramel, swirl. And that's
I would agree with that, light caramel.
Yeah. It's not too much.
And I would say the McKenna is even lighter than that.
And then on the finish, flash of caramel, light oak. That comes and goes before you know what happens. Mm-hmm. An additional quick heat follows that, which I would say is the rye spice that's in there. And they're saying that it's interesting for being like 6 to 8 year old barrels. The lightning fast flavors are adequate, but it's clearly the weakest part of the sip. But I don't know.
I disagree.
I don't agree with that either.
Because we've had some bourbons that the only flavor it left lingering was the undesirable one, especially that larceny.
And, again, like it's crazy that you can spend money on that Larceny, and
it was great on the front end, but as soon as you were done, the finish was
terrible. It was awful. It was like almost unpalatable, really.
Yeah, it's like, here, have this deliciousness, and now I'm going to slap you in the face.
Here, you're going to hate this. These are so good. They're so good. They're unbelievable. I'm so glad that we found both of these because, for people that don't want to go out and spend a bunch of money on bourbon,
agree.
You could bring this to like Justin W.'s house, who is the master bourbon collector, and I don't think he would not like these.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he has a lot of stuff, and he has a lot of stuff that's way better than this. But for the price point and what it is, I don't really know if there's anything out there that's going to beat this for the price.
And I think, another one you could add next to this would be the Four Roses small batch.
Yeah, but that's more expensive. A lot more expensive.
Well, yeah, it is. I guess
it
is.
40, 45.
Maybe we need to compare the three. Look at that.
Oh, that's single barrel. It's not the small batch. It's the single barrel. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I find myself not wanting to drink all the stuff that's in my collection. Yeah. Like, I'll go to these.
That's what I like.
Unless we're doing like a big bourbon day,
right? Like when we're doing burgers and stuff, this is great. Yeah. If you want to do mixers, this is great. Or if you've got that guest that comes over and you say, "What kind of bourbon do you like?" And they're like, "Oh, bourbon's bourbon." Oh, well.
Well, you're wrong, but here's
yes,
this. Yeah.
I'll still give you something good. It's just going to be very inexpensive.
Yeah, exactly.
We should probably feed them the Blantons.
Yeah, I don't. I still have that bottle up there.
I've got two.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not.
I think I'm going to give my brother one for when
Blanton's would be good if it was $50.
I agree, but what everybody charges for it is insanity.
It's crazy.
And Eagle Rare, same thing. Good. I love Eagle Rare. It's good, but it's not worth $200.
No. Honestly, I like Eagle Rare too. I find it a little boring.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. It's an easy drink, but there's not much flavor going on.
No, there's not. There isn't. Shall we ice?
Let's ice.
All right, we'll be right back, and we'll ice. All right, everybody, welcome back. We've successfully put the bourbon on the ice.
We are on the ice.
Most of it's melted, I'll be fair.
Yeah, sorry, there was some distraction from our executive producer.
We're trying to get our executive producer side by side, and there was a lot of discussion about that. Damn it, Brandon.
Wants, needs, necessities.
That's right. All right, let's just get into it before it melts all the way.
So, McKenna on ice.
I ate the ice cube because it was so small. The same. Just cooler.
It's almost like when you buy Welch's grape juice and then the cheap grape juice, it's a little watered down. It's good, but it just tastes watered down.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yeah, but it doesn't change it at all, really.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's exactly the same as it was. It's just a little bit cooler.
Yes.
To me.
Yeah. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
That's my go-to drink anyways, McKenna on ice in my tumbler.
Evan Williams on the ice.
1783.
Small batch. Same thing. Doesn't change it at all.
Nope.
Cooler. Maybe just a little watered down, but everything's still there.
We should find some glasses that we can freeze and then put them in so we don't have to. Because I do like the bourbon colder.
Have you seen the glasses? So it's like
the gel.
Where are the Knob Creek glasses?
Oh, down there at the bottom.
So, like a normal glass like this, they make these like little triangles that you can freeze and you put it into the glass.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So that the bourbon, like it melts really slowly because it's actually a huge cube of ice. Mm-hmm. So like half of your glass diagonally is ice, and then you put whatever you want
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. So my thing is like I would like to be able to cool it without watering it down.
Yeah.
On a lot of these.
I agree.
So,
and I think the bigger the cube, the less it's gonna emit.
And the whiskey rocks suck because they're so small and it's
shit.
I've never had.
Sorry, Neil. Neil bought me whiskey rocks many years ago for my birthday or Christmas. And it gave this like weird taste to all of the. I washed them. It says to wash them, and I did. And it was still like this weird like.
Stones.
I washed the stones. It was like this weird like chalkiness. It was very strange.
Justin G, did he give you some of those whiskey rocks from that super high grade stainless steel?
No,
I thought he gave you some.
Nope.
He must not love you as much.
No, you got some.
I did.
Wow.
Because I thought you got some the first time, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't give you a set."
I see how it is.
I think you got some and you lost.
Justin G is not coming on the podcast anymore.
I disagree.
because of the stones.
I'll stand here. You can stand to my left.
That's all right.
I'll bring them over. But the problem is they don't last very long. They get warm pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if someone, Justin, maybe you can talk to your boss about making a big
stainless steel.
So it'll, with the mass there to hold the cold for longer. That'd be.
Well, good for you for getting those. I'm unloved.
He said you got them first. I could have sworn you got them the first time you went
nope.
over there.
Nope, never got them.
I think you swallowed them.
Stainless steel tastes so good.
Justin, I'm sorry if you didn't give him some. I thought you'd give him some first, and I was the stepchild. But I'll share with Eric. There's 4. I'll give you 2.
All right.
Still, I agree. Evan Williams
is better.
Still a little better.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a little bit more complex.
But it is also about $10 more a handle. Because I think when I bought mine yesterday, it was $30, and I got this for $21.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Worth it.
Yeah, I think.
Not that this is.
I think the normal size bottles, right? It's $12 for the McKenna, and I think it's $19 for the Evan Williams. Yeah. I would still buy both. Yeah. Like it's not that big of a noticeable difference. Where
they're different tastes. They're both good.
Yeah. This
is a super easy drink, especially if you got someone coming over you want to break in to bourbon. This is a good easy drink. It's not going to burn them or anything.
Yeah.
But the Evan Williams, a little more flavor and complex taste.
Out of 10. This is a tough one because it is good, but it's cheap, right? It's not.
Let's not say cheap. Let's say low
cost.
Because I mean, really, there's some more expensive ones that taste pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, I mean, like okay, so we'll get into that in a second. I was going to talk about how much I'd pay for that, but let's get into out of 10.
Okay,
McKenna.
I'm going to go with a 7.
I'm like 6.8.
Yeah.
Yep. Evan Williams 1783.
7.5.
Yeah.
Not an 8.
Yeah, I'm like 7.3, 7.4.
I honestly, there's the Evan Williams 1783 and the vintage small batch. I'd put up. Yes, we've reviewed that one before. I would put those up against a lot of
this.
I would definitely put them up against Blanton's. I would definitely put them up against some of these other Buffalo Trace, some of the other. And don't get me wrong, I love my favorite
for $37. This is one of the best bottles you can buy.
Yeah, and
unbelievable.
And not to detract because I love Sazerac because my favorite, as we know, Elmer T. Lee. I love Elmer T. Lee.
Yeah, but it's so expensive.
It is. Well,
it shouldn't be, but it is.
Shouldn't be. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw
find.
Bruzel. He just went out to Indiana and someone was trying to sell it. It's an MSRP of like $60 and someone had it for $1,000. Indiana.
That's what's wrong with this hobby, man.
It is.
So you got people trying to take advantage of people.
Yeah. Secondary market is ridiculous. Yeah. They rip you off.
I don't like that. I mean, there's good people on that Bourbon Flights OKC, or not Bourbon Flights, that's the name of the podcast. The Bourbon Facebook group.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Bourbon Drinkers, whatever it is. And people will post stuff on there, and it's incredibly overpriced. And I'm like, this is terrible. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, this is the secondary market. And I said, yeah, I don't really agree with the secondary market.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, why? And I'm like, because we should all be in agreement in, like, we're a group, right? Like, we should be trying to help people out. You shouldn't be making $100 in the secondary market. Well, even if charging $10, $20, $30, $40 over what it is because you have the bottle, you found it, fine. But when you're charging $200 over what MSRP is,
or even more than that.
Yeah, it's like what are we doing here?
Yeah, because in perfect example is when Justin W had us over for the bottle share, and the guys there were there from the Oklahoma City Bourbon Group or Whiskey Group. And they asked us what we liked, and then they just flooded us with all these things to try that they felt were similar. And we were talking about how bourbon brings people together. Yeah. But you've got people that will screw you over, like that liquor store down by the fairgrounds where they were selling Buffalo Trace for $79 a bottle.
A dusty bottle of Buffalo Trace?
Give me a break. Yeah. Come on. I mean, I would pay $11 all day long over Buffalo Trace. I turned down a bottle of Buffalo Trace for $39 because that's overpriced.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's all opinion based too, right? We talk about this a lot. It's all about what you like. But there's no way in hell I'm paying $1,000 for Elmer T. Lee.
Me neither, especially when you can get it for $100 in a lot of places. And that's even overpriced.
Yeah. Like Pappy, I don't even think I'd pay $1,000 for it.
Yeah. I've never had it. So
I've had it. I've had it once. It's good. There's stuff that's in the $50 to $100 range that I think is better. Yeah.
I still think that Rock Hill Farms was
fantastic. Rock Hill Farms is good.
And $300. If I had that kind of money to waste on bourbon, I would definitely buy that.
We'll have to just do it. We'll have to just split a bottle. Yeah. Just for the pod.
Yeah.
And do it.
It was good.
Okay, so we rated them out of 10. Let's get this out of here because this is not part of this. What would you pay? Let's talk about the regular size bottle.
Okay.
Not a 175. Regular size bottle of McKenna. What would you pay?
Honestly, $30. $45-$30.
Yeah, I'd probably pay $50.
Would you really?
Yeah.
I would probably pay $45-$50.
Because think about how many $50 bottles of bourbon that we bought. Like the Representative.
Mm-hmm.
Regular High West.
Yeah.
What's this one back here? Regular Penelope that's way better than those.
Better. Yeah.
And those are $50 bottles all day long.
Yeah.
I'd pay $50 for that. Easy.
For that Henry McKenna?
Absolutely.
What would you pay for the other?
If it went allocated, 60 or 70. I don't want to.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they're watching and they're like, oh yeah, we need to
jack the price up. But honestly, this is where a lot of these allocated bourbons started.
But this is so crazy because, and we say this all, it's not about price.
Right.
It's about what you think is good.
The flavors you like.
Correct. And I'm not saying this is like McKenna 10 is better than McKenna. Right?
I would agree.
We would agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Evan Williams Single Barrel Vintage is better than Evan Williams 1780 Small Batch.
Yeah.
But that's not the point here. The point is these are two great bottles that beat out shit that's way more expensive. And it's not how much do I need to pay? It's no, I found something that I like that is less expensive than some stuff that is worse than this. That's where that kind of knowledge, I don't want to call it local knowledge, but like bourbon knowledge comes into play. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, right? Is like the best example, and we already mentioned it, is that kid, right? And it's like, dude, you don't need to spend $55 to have a good bottle of bourbon.
And enjoy it.
Yeah. And enjoy it. Like the McKenna, you're going to like it, and it's $12 for a regular bottle.
I think these two, we should sneak these in when we do our blind tastings with some other more expensive.
Well, we did with the 1783.
Right.
We should do the McKenna though.
Yeah, and
because
we bought the bourbon
so we did
with the A's.
Yes,
so we
did the bottles. You brought them over.
I did. I left them over here.
So we did Elijah Craig small batch. We did Michter's.
Mm-hmm.
We did Blanton's, and Evan Williams 1783.
Yes.
And I think what we picked is Michter's, Elijah Craig, Blanton's, and 1783. But we agreed that 1783 was very close to Blanton's.
And honestly,
and when you're paying $19 versus some places $150 more maybe for a bottle of Blanton's, like that says something to me.
Yeah.
Like that's what's wrong with this industry.
Yeah.
It's the people that don't know enough about what this hobby is.
Yes.
That's what jacks up the price. Oh, I got to find Blanton's. No, you don't. Go buy a bottle of Michter's for $55 or $50 or whatever
they've been told
Yeah.
This is the best, but they haven't tried it. Like when we were at Cachet and the gentleman behind us said, "Oh, I want Blanton's," and you said, "What are you, an amateur?"
Yep.
It's true. I mean, Blanton's is good. Don't get me wrong, but it is.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I would buy these two all day long before Blanton's.
When you can buy two 175s for like a fifth of the price of a bottle of Blanton's.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to hunt for it.
You know? No, it's everywhere. You can find this everywhere. I mean, the whole Blanton's thing, the Blantons and Buffalo Trace thing is the epitome of what's wrong with this hobby in this industry, right? Of people trying to go out and buy stuff that, like, oh, it's overpriced. I don't care. I want Blanton's. It's like, no, just go buy a bottle of Michter's. Go buy a bottle of Elijah Craig, like we had in the last episode. Yeah. There's so much better stuff out there than that, and it's just a lack of knowledge, really, from people.
It's like people that think Corona beer is like the best, but you go to Mexico and that's like the
they're drinking Tecate.
That's the cheap beer that they don't drink, and they'll tell you, "Oh, we send that to the gringos in the States because they don't drink it." Just like what was that? The rum that's out of Puerto Rico, Bacardi, terrible. I went to Puerto Rico and I said, "I want
Grand Reserva."
I said, "I want a mojito," and the guy pulled out Don Q, and I said, "No, I want the good stuff. I want Bacardi," and he's like, "We don't drink that shit here. We'd send it to you gringos in the States. You want Don Q."
That's how that Grand Reserva Diplomatico. Like I think I bought your bottle. I think I bought your wife a bottle of it. You can drink that.
I never received those funds from my wife. If you purchased her, I'm gonna need to talk to your accountant.
His name's Dennis. He lives in a cave. No, but that bottle of like Diplomatico Reserva is a great bottle of rum. You can drink it neat. You can drink it on rocks. You can mix it. But again, that's all. It's a $45-$50 bottle of rum. Like it's not expensive, and that's kind of what I think the biggest thing for you people watching out there is. If you don't have, and a lot of people don't, $50, $60, $70 to spend on bourbon
to drink in one night when you got friends coming over.
Yeah, this is a great alternative. Yeah. Great alternative.
Yeah. And if you're embarrassed about it, pour it into a decanter. Pour it into a decanter and don't worry about the label and then surprise them.
But even then,
I wouldn't be embarrassed anyway. Because I would.
But the McKenna label is boring. It's brown.
Awful. It's so 1984. It's just brown. This is back in my day.
Hey, Evan Hill, update your label on McKenna, please. Evan, this is fine. It's good. This is fine.
I like the bottle shape.
Yes, yep, it's fine. This is not great.
Reminds me of like the, what is that? Canadian whiskey. My dad likes that they serve to
Crown?
Him. Yes, they gave it.
Yeah.
We went to Cache. They opened their steakhouse. We went. It was fantastic. God. We were ordering drinks. My father orders a Crown and Diet Coke, and they served it to him in a little miniature trash can. And it was so appropriate. So he even laughed because he's like, okay,
I get it. But I mean, because like your wife got some bubbly thing and it was in a bathtub. Mine was in like this weird like an octopus glass, I think. Aaron's came in a box with almost like a coffin looking or chest looking thing with dry ice in it. Yeah. Yep.
Great food, great drinks.
Got to be a member though, or know somebody who's a member.
Right. Thank God we know.
But Neighborhood Provisions is good and it's still open to the public.
It's still open to the public
for now. It is going to go private. But
you know what? You have to admit, you got to love the fact that they change their menu frequently. It's not like a lot of these places where it's been the same menu.
I used to belong to Oak Tree and it was the same thing. It was the same. The only thing at Oak Tree that was good was lunch. The dinners, we do steak night there. It was
Someone disagrees.
Awful. It was awful. No, steak night was terrible. It was overcooked. It was
That's
overpriced.
what my dad said. The steaks were bad.
Yeah. I don't know why your dad still is belonging there, but
he likes to play, like you said. I think it's
having the two courses makes sense. But
he definitely enjoyed the food so much better.
And the food at Oak Tree is not good.
Yeah, and I think that's what he likes the enjoyment because now you can play golf at Oak Tree and you can come eat with us because he said the food at Rose Creek was phenomenal.
Chef Jim,
the drinks.
Chef Jim throws down, dude.
Yeah, and Dennis, the mix master.
Dennis, the menace. That's right. Comments, concerns, accolades, questions?
My concern is if you don't have these two in your collection, you should have them.
I would agree. And if you buy a regular size bottle, you'll spend $35
for both. Yeah.
Yeah. 12 and less than that because it's 12 and 20.
Yeah, like 12 and 19.
19.
Yeah. And the big bottles were 21 and 30.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good bottles. Don't sleep on these.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not saying they're the best of the best, but as far as a budget, low-cost bourbon, I don't really think there's a lot out there that's going to hold a candle to these.
And I think in the future, we're going to be exploring the Wild Turkey line.
Yeah,
hopefully the Russell's line
that Wild Turkey Rare Breed
Trail.
is, dude, that's one of my favorite bottles for sure.
And if you haven't had the Wilderness Trail barrel selection from Whiskey Cabinet, that is still
they still have some there.
They still do.
Oh, wow,
for $63, that
I need to go buy
still one of my favorite.
Well, we did that. We reviewed that, right? I need to go.
I can't. I've had like 6 bottles and they never last.
No, because it's delicious.
Everybody drinks.
It's delicious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it time?
I think
time
it's
to end.
It is.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this bourbon journey through OKC. Remember, there is a world of bourbon out there waiting to be explored one sip at a time. Until next time, keep your glasses full and your spirits high. Cheers.
Cheers.